Save some money? Well, if you are a member or going to think about being a member of Save Club, you've come to the right spot. 'Cause I'm going to give you a little overview of the members area and what Save Club is all about. Save Club is a discount club that will save you on millions of retailers around the world. And so once you join as a member, all you have to do once you're inside is click on the My Deals tab. When you click on that, it will actually open up and you can search and basically, to your heart's content, all different varieties of materials. Could be, as you just saw, there were Disney tickets, for example. You can get, discounts on Ford vehicles and other vehicles. There's instant oil changes. There's, restaurant appetizers. There's golf supplies and golf fees. There's stuff from Home Depot and Dick's Sporting Goods and so many other places. And so that's just, that's the main point, obviously, of being a member of the Save Club is so that you can actually save and actually save some good money that's well beyond the price you would pay for the membership. So the first part, obviously, you're just going to go through this. We are just 8 days into the pre-launch. It is April 29th, 2025 when I'm filming this. The actual live launch is June 1st, 2025. So there may be some small discrepancies, changes, maybe additions, hopefully for the better by the time you see this. So obviously we are at the home. You can see your details, see your, blah, blah, blah that you've paid for the month. And you can click to access your deals here as well. You can see your team building. All members fall in a team build that people can earn commissions on if they paid the annual registration fee that goes along with it as well. And so if we go through just a few things here, obviously that's the same thing. If I click on my membership, okay, I am good through May 21st, 2026, okay, because I joined last Thursday and there was already an issue. I paid, basically the month was paid, and then I decided to do the whole year because one of the benefits in the compensation plan is that actually if you are on the annual membership, you actually open up an additional ability to earn more in the compensation plan. So I highly recommend not only to be able to earn more, but also then you don't have to worry about every single monthly rebill, forgetting it, or going and lapsing and possibly losing out on some of those commissions. So just consider that as time goes on. My deals, again, obviously, I'm not going to click on my info, but if you had to update, let's say, an address, let's say you had to update your credit card information, if you made a certain amount of money in the United States, likely it will pop up the option for a social security card and number to be paid out. So just make sure your details are up to date there. You can also go to your name up at the very top and click account settings, and you'll be able to go through and do that. Maybe you need to change your password. Make sure your passwords are really legit and really good because, again, one of the things that's in here is your ability to create a payment account, and you don't want anyone to go in and steal your details. So obviously I'm not going to show you that stuff for, whatever I think it's called, PII. Personal and identifiable information, whatever it's called. I'm slurring, messing up my words there. So order history, again, like I said, first thing I had was the month, and then I ended up upgrading. And this was the month and the registration fee. It's $60 a year for a reseller, and then it's $20 a month. So basically 20 times, 12, $240. So there that is. Getting into the team. When you click on your team tab, you can actually see the growth of the team as it's happening. One of the cool things about this is this, as you were watching this is the first week of full growth. So last week was an incomplete week. They did not fill the team matrix on the background. So notice I don't have anyone underneath it. I have ranked up to 2 stars, and I'll explain that in a little bit. So I've definitely sponsored people, but they have not gone into the matrix. They go into the matrix on Friday night. So Friday night is going to be when that first cutoff is, but also anyone that I sponsored up and through last Friday is going to be able to be earning a commission or a payment for me. So I'm going to be getting my first payment on Friday night. The first matrix is going to be filling. And there's a really cool thing that I want to talk about here if you are going to take some effort to come in now, because we are, like I said, we are at the very beginning. And so normally you'd be able to see who's on your team When you hover over them, you can see maybe who sponsored them. So if I hover over my name, we can see that, I was sponsored by Mac. We can also see my rank down there and my name. And so obviously different colors are going to show up. This program uses a star system. And like I said, as you rank up, you become a higher level star. If I want to see the matrix list, if I want to actually see in order, numerical order, and how many people I have on every level or every tier of my matrix, I can do that. Now, the other day, I was ranked a 1-star and only 12 levels were open. And now, as a 2-star, I've earned the ability to have a whole extra level open on my compensation plan and my earnings. As you continue to rank up, this will go as high as 16 levels. If you scroll down, notice again, there's no one here. But once Friday hits and the matrix fills, I'm going to have a whole bunch of names here of everyone that's on my team and everyone that they sponsored. So one of the things you can do when you click on, for example, the regular matrix view, I can see this. I'm going to go up and click the enroller tree. I'm only seeing, I went ahead of myself. I did click the matrix first, and so there's no one there. If we go into the regular matrix view, okay, and then view enroller tree, I do actually have an up-to-date view of people that I have actually enrolled and also have enrolled other people. So down here, we're going to scroll down. Notice you're going to see things down here just for, again, privacy issues. I'm not going to go through and show you all of them. But notice I have sponsored 12 people this month. So that means there's 12 new affiliates, 12 new members. But if I go through, that's just me on my first level. If I want to know how many are my whole team, I'm going to click all levels and then do change view. Notice that number changes to 21. Because out of those 12 people, I've had a few action takers who have started to actually promote. And how you see that, if you want to see an easy way of who has the biggest teams, if you go to My Earnings, we're jumping around here a little bit, but if you click My Earnings and scroll, I believe, to rank, when you scroll to rank, obviously you'll see the rank. So I mentioned I am a 2-star. So I have 21 out of 100. 100 will get me to 3 stars. And again, I'll explain that all in a minute. But we can see that this person has 7 on their team. This person has 3. This person has 2. And the rest just have 1. They just started. So you can actually go through and modify and see who is maybe taking more action. You can see who the leaders are. Maybe you can spend more time with them if they really got things going. Maybe pick their brains to see what strategies are working or whatnot, and then you can share them with other members of the team, or vice versa. See who isn't working and maybe urge them and give them a couple more strategies that might help them be successful as well. So again, going back to the team, hopefully those have made sense. You can play around with that, click them, go back and forth, become familiar on your own. What I want to point out though is the power line. Again, a week in. This is everyone that was after me. Okay, there was a few days where pretty much maybe it was a day or two. People joined, then my sponsor got his link, gave it right to me, hooked me up, and then the rest is history. So 2,700, almost 3,000 people, and then there's a few before me. They've actually paid. Okay, these are active members that are already in, that are going to be the first ones going in on Friday. So it's crucial if you want to get one of these top positions, these prime top positions. You hear about companies that grow into the millions and you wish you were there in the first day, in the first days. Well, guess what? If you can be one of the first 5,000 people, maybe even the first 10,000 people, you are on the right track to success and potential excess spillover, what they call spillover, or other growth from other team members. And again, I want to point out as a disclaimer, spillover obviously is never a guarantee. It is a nice benefit though. So if we scroll down, you can actually see all the people. Everyone in orange is a member. They've joined. Anyone that's white is a pre-enrollee. So if we go through this, notice of 11, every page is 100. Okay, every page is 100. There's 100 and there's 100. But notice that's 10,000 people. I would have to go 100 pages to see everyone's name. And so this is everyone after me. Okay, I was in, the 25th. So it hasn't even been a full week yet. 21st. So it's been just over a week. But again, I wasn't the first one. There were some people before me. So all of these people, the system is going to pull them out, and the person at the top, obviously, whoever's at the top of the power line, they're going to go right in the highest position available underneath their sponsor. Then the next person in the power line, they're going to try to find, okay, well, where is the next highest position in their sponsor's basic matrix, okay? And then they'll fill that. And then the next one, then the next one, the next one. Maybe the next person is pre-enrolled. If they're pre-enrolled and they haven't joined, they get skipped over. So the next person will go above them and they will fill up that next available spot. So it is crucial, not only obviously if you get your pre-enroll at the beginning or by the beginning of the week, it doesn't matter when you join as an upgrade, the earlier in the week you become pre-enrolled and the earlier right now that you can become pre-enrolled and save that spot, that's going to continue to get you a higher place in the power line to pull you in first. But if you continue to sit by the sidelines and just wait and wait and wait, then that concept of, oh my God, I was in at the beginning has just disappeared. And maybe there's some massive regret that goes with that. And I don't want you to have that. Okay, there was another company that is very similar. We actually use the same background information, format, setup, power line, the way that the program is laid out, the way that the matrix fills. That program I also actively promote because they have physical products that I love. But I got in about 2 months after the massive exponential growth started to take place. And it continued, but I stayed ahead of people instead of being one of the first people that everyone came in after. And so that's the opportunity you have right in front of you right now. So make sure you click that button and join, at least pre-enroll with me, and we can make some amazing things happen as you save money. The whole point really brings it back. I want you to save money. Whether you save money in the other program, you search my other videos, or you save money in this one, my goal and my passion is saving you money, making you learn, making you a little more educated with some of the trainings that I'm going to share with you as well as bonuses when you join me. The key, obviously, is you have to take action. Don't have any regrets. All right, let's continue here. If you want to look at and see your referrals, all you got to do is click that button, again, for the purpose of preserving, names and, protection, blah, blah, blah. Notice I can see I got one of 28. What you'll see, you can actually export them if you want to create your own Excel file or maybe import them into your own email autoresponder system. If that system allows you to do that, you can export your list. But when you scroll down, you're going to be able to see the name, the date that they join, their user ID, they don't have a username until they become a member, but you'll see their name, their email, some of the main details there. You can also do a search. If I only want to do the members, notice again, I have 28 total referrals so far. If I only want to see the members, those people that have upgraded, I can search that and notice it has moved to 12. Okay, we'll try to hide that. Okay, it only went to 12. And the other ones are pre-enrolled, so it should say 16 because obviously 12 and 16 add up to 28. So you can scroll down, and as time goes on, there may be more tabs here, depending on if someone becomes, like let's say they were in for a while and then they fell out again. So maybe they are just a retail member or a retail customer. I'm not sure how it's going to play around. But again, very similar to the other platform, just talking from experience from that one. So you'll be able to do searches, obviously, as your team grows to find your members and just to search people that are there. Like I said, click the export button. If you click that, you'll see it kind of jump up. At least it does on my computer, and it goes and becomes part of your download. So you can find out and then play around with your details that way. If you want to see who your enroller is, again, because his phone number's there and his email's there, I'm not going to show that to you. But if you were to do that and you wanted to get in touch with me, click my enroller and you'll see that I am your enroller. You'll see my email and likely my phone, so you can get in touch with me if you want. I will probably by the time you have joined, especially if you pre-enroll, I usually send out a welcome message about pre-enroll and steps you should take next. If you join, I then send you a second email with links, for example, to our team Facebook group. I'm going to be putting together my own resource page. I have links for a couple other things and other trainings that will help you out to get you going and to get started so that you can rank up as well. The leaderboard. Again, I am sponsored. This is another incentive for you. I am sponsored by Mac. I got in a very, 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 very good position where I am like number two. So like there's a person here and then I'm like number one and number two, left and right. Okay, Max on top, left, right. We're the first two. And so I was very fortunate to secure this position. So that means a lot of people are going to fall under and be placed. And the earlier you come, the better chance you have to be on top of us. Now, Cedric, I know for sure was also uh, with Max. Sorry, lost my train of thought there for a second. Cedric was number one. I'm number two. Cedric also has a bunch of people that he's building. I saw some of Cedric's numbers earlier, and I believe he's got about 150 at this point. So those people are all going to be filling, and many of them are going to be filling on that left side, his people. Maybe some of Max will too, because again, it's based on the order of the power line. And so there will be a whole other video on the power line and how the power line works, and especially after we have the first matrix fill, I'll probably do that video then so that I actually have stuff to actually point to. And so be sure, if you haven't already, make sure you are subscribed to that channel so that you can find out all that you want. And anytime I have a new training video, or if you have other details that you want me to create a video on, I'm always willing to do that so that I can help my team out and help the whole global community of Save Club. So what I'm saying again is that the earlier you come in, the better chance you have to be up there with me at the top. And so just to, again, to show you, I said I was a 2-star right now. I believe I was at like number 34. Yeah, still 34 out of 3,000 affiliates. Okay, so there is at least about 3,000 affiliates that have joined. We saw that. I am ranked number 34th. So, I'm not bragging that I'm obviously nowhere near the top. Mac is crushing me. I got 12. He's got 130 almost. So he's got 10 times the amount of people he referred than I did. And so a lot of other people. But the key thing is I've gotten in and I've taken action. And so come in, take action, start sharing your links. And so one of the next question is, okay, well, where do I get my links? Well, that's under your websites. If you click your websites and we scroll down, there are currently 2 websites. And so the first one is the Save Club website. If we click on that, it just brings us, and I'm hoping this doesn't log me out. Well, I'm not going to enter anything, but this just gives us a basic detail. If someone wants to become a customer, they can click join. On the next page, after they click join, what they're going to see is the ability to choose, do they want the monthly or the annual? But then they can also click off or choose whether they want the reseller fee or not. Maybe someone just wants to have the membership and they just want to save money, but they have no desire to build a business. Maybe they're focused on other businesses and they don't want to be associated, but they still want to save money. And so it's a perfect opportunity for them to come in as a business. Now, obviously, they might be able to upgrade later on over time and earn more commissions because they are probably going to be telling people or explaining to people, oh, I saved money on this, I saved on this. And then people are going to want to know, oh, well, how did you do that? And so it's to their benefit to be able to share that with others and be able to get some kickback and commissions from that. So that's a really good benefit right there. So that is the first link. That's just the saveclub.com/your username. And then at the very other side of it, you have the power line. If you're working with business builders, and like I mentioned to you, you should pre-enroll. The pre-enroll position, notice it'll say, welcome to my website. You're going to enter your name, your email, and your phone. And then you're going to secure your position. That locks you in somewhere in that power line. Then you have the instant opportunity to go in and see a mini version of the website. Obviously, watch the video, get a little more detail if you need some due diligence. I will be also sending to my pre-enrollees a set of videos and additional training that goes more in depth on how the company works. And so the other thing again here, as you scroll down, there may be other links and there may be other videos or other funnels by the time you are watching this. Again, it is April 29th, 2025 when I'm making this video. We are only 8 days into this launch. 3,000 have already locked in, 10,000 have pre-enrolled, and we're starting to really, really go fast. And over the next few weeks and next couple months, it's going to really, really ramp up. Once we start bringing in, there's already some leaders. If we go back to that leaderboard for a hot second here, notice there's a lot of United States, but there we have Britain, we have Japan, We have David Wood. He's a genius from the Empower Network from Costa Rica. We got the Philippines there. We got another Japan, I mean. We got Canada, Japan. I was looking ahead. So we have a lot of different parts. We have, I believe that's Australia or New Zealand. And this is one of the African countries. Ghana, maybe, Nigeria. Please don't hold me accountable, but I forget which one that is. I could be wrong totally, but I thought that was what it is. So it is starting to spread around and people are starting to recognize the value with Save Club. And again, as I mentioned, possibly in my other video, if not, I'm going to mention it here. The more people that join and the bigger buying power Save Club has, the better opportunities they can go to companies and say, listen, I have 100,000, 500,000, 2.5 million people. Can you give us a better deal? Or can you give us a deal to begin with? Where maybe there was no deal, or maybe there's a deal and let's ramp up that deal and double the deal or X times that deal so that it makes it more lucrative for us and we're saving even more money in the long run. So websites right there. Another cool thing, if you do start to promote and you want to track where your clicks or where your leads, your pre-enrolls, and your upgrades are coming from, click on statistics. So right here, you can see how many hits I've had every day, how many pre-enrolls I got from those hits, and then how many people upgraded each day. And so I have had some really, really good days so far in the beginning. Obviously, it's, strike while the iron is hot. I want you to get in on this and be at the top with me so you can experience some good spillover in the beginning as we continue to grow into the thousands, the tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, and even millions worldwide. One of the other cool features with statistics, like I said, if you want to track it, just click source statistics. That will open up a new thing and you can actually see these are the different codes that I ended or added at the end. I didn't have any. I was just sending people direct in the original. I had 22 pre-enrollees, 10 upgrades. Some people randomly saw stuff over time, clicked on it, but a lot of it was done. Just to give you a heads up, a lot of my original upgrades are people that I have had some personal relationships with in the past. I reached out to them on Facebook and I just, I basically came out right and said it and said, hey, I'm reaching out to all my business contacts. I want to let you know that I am, excited to, add this other piece into my business streams. I like doing the physical stuff, but I want to be able to do the digital stuff as well. But basically just getting to the point, just saying, I've joined a new opportunity called Save Club. It's a discount domain club with the likes and, very similar to, another program. If you're interested, if it fits, the current things you got going on, if you'd like to learn a little bit more, I'd be glad to share my link with you, but I'm not just going to slam the link in. Okay. Don't just slam your link onto other people's pages or to other people's inboxes, because it's a little obtrusive or intrusive, I guess you could say, but at least ask for the permission. And then, if they give you the thumbs up or they heart it or they, maybe usually they're going to respond back, be like, yeah, sure, I'll take a look. And they've been very receptive so far. As you can see from the numbers, out of 22, I had 10 upgrade. So we're looking just a little bit under 50%, which is great from those that I had a relationship with. And I'll still follow up with some of them because some of them haven't even seen the message yet. When you go through Facebook and you can tell if someone saw the message or not, you can see that they still haven't seen the message. So I will follow up with some more of them as well. All right, my earnings, like I said, right now, it hasn't hit the bank yet, but I will be getting paid on Friday. So again, like I said, make sure you're subscribed so you can see some follow-ups and how things went this first week with this first massive group of people being added in the matrix. But this is where you would set up your payment option. I'm not going to click it because it has my direct deposit details. I live in the United States, so I want to get paid by direct deposit. So you can choose that as well. You can choose to get paid by e-wallet through iPayout, or you can get paid by crypto. Now, I believe each of those other choices have maybe some minimum amounts of money you need to earn before they pay out, because there's other fees involved in that. If you want to keep it in here, you can keep it in your credit wallet or transfer it to your credit wallet. And so you could then later check your credit wallet. Now, the benefit of that, I'm guessing right now, it's not here right now, because if we click on credit wallet, all right, if I'm going to click on credit wallet, we're not going to see anything. But later, if I am correct in thinking what I know from the other program that's very similar to this, we will have the option to actually send funds to other people or to create accounts for other people. So let's say you want to create a Save Club account for your cousin or your aunt and uncle or your best friend or your boss. Maybe you run a business and you have a high ticket item and you want to give a bonus. Maybe the bonus is a free month or a free trial of the Save Club and you pay for their first month. Maybe it's super high ticket. They're spending thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. Maybe you give them the whole year. Okay, so there's lots of options here, and I believe that is something that is coming down the pipeline. And so, as I mentioned before, you can see your rank and the pay plan description. So I'll open that in one window. So again, this is all under My Earnings, where you can see the pay plan description. So we're on this tab. Let's see which one just opened. I think it was this one. 5 ways to get paid. So 5 ways to get paid. I'm just going to try to quickly go through this. I'm not going to explain percentages, but basically, number one, if you sponsor someone, you are going to earn a percent. Okay. It's anywhere from $20 up to, I believe, $32 based on your ranking. Okay, you start with a certain amount, it's at least 25%, but then based on your star. So for example, I'm a 2-star. I believe not only do I get 25%, but I also get an additional 5% and 4%, okay, based on generation. So I believe, if I remember correctly, again, I'm not going to get into too much detail. So the point is, you earn when you sponsor people. The next thing, if you have people that you have sponsored that sponsor other people, you get what's called generational overrides. You get additional percentages based on other people doing work. Next thing is a matrix commission. This is really cool, depending on how far you go. Like I said earlier in this video, I had 12 levels. Now I have 13 because I ranked up to 2-star. So, actually, I believe it should say 14. I didn't even check to see if that should say 14. But I believe as a 2-star, I should have 14, where before as a 1-star, I had 13 levels. You can get down to 16 levels. Notice a maximum $65,000. Now, what are the chances of you filling every single position down 16 levels? Probably slim to none. What are the percentages of you filling every single position down 12 levels? 12 levels, excuse me. Also probably slim to none. You might get a lot of people. I believe, if I remember correctly, 12 levels is about 8,000 people. Okay, it's 12 or 13. It's like 8,000 people because it keeps compounding and doubling and doubling and doubling. So you might have a lot. Maybe you have 2,000 or 3,000. Maybe you have 500. That's still going to be a nice chunk of money. If you have a team of 100 underneath you, okay, 2.5% of $20 monthly is 50 cents. Doesn't sound like a lot, but if you have 100 people underneath you, which is going to be very, very easy for those people that come in right now in the beginning, as we are just launching and starting to grow global and exponential, that'll be very easy to potentially have 100 people underneath you. 100 people underneath you is $50 a month for doing nothing. You just have to be an active member that's also obviously, excuse me here for a second, that's also an active affiliate. Okay, you need to make sure you're an affiliate. Otherwise, you don't earn that money. If you are just a member, you don't earn anything. I believe they may be opening some member-to-member discounts. If you refer another member, you might be able to get some extra bonuses, extra discounts, maybe a commission. I'm not sure how they're going to plan it, okay? But the key thing is, you can earn money even if other people are brought in by people you did not have any connection with. It could be someone from above you. It could be someone that was placed below you that then had a big team. You can earn off of them. And then going with this is generational matches on those people you sponsored. And so 5 generations deep, you can earn between 20 and 57% of what the people you sponsored make. And that all depends on whether or not you are a 5-star or not. And I believe this is where I was confused talking about adding those numbers up on top. So for example, if right now I'm a 2-star, but I believe if I'm a 2-star, not only would I match 20% of someone, but because they are my first or second generation, I'm also going to match an additional 10 and an additional 12%. Okay, there's details here to read it. I will leave that to you. I'm not going to be an expert right now, 1 week in to the comp plan. Just understand that you can make more commissions by matching on people that you sponsored based on the size of their matrix. I mentioned earlier, I believe, it pays to become an annual member because you can earn additional annual commissions for other people that come in at the annual level. If someone doesn't have an annual level, let's say you are here and you sponsor Bob and Bob sponsors Sue, but Bob came in at the monthly, Sue decided to come at the annual and you had annual, Bob is going to lose out on that annual bonus and it's going to pass up to you. So that next person will get $10, their sponsor gets $5, and then the next one after that gets $3. So it goes up 3 different generations. It's extra money to have that yearly membership in place. And then finally, one of the coolest things so far is that unlike a similar company where you have to become a diamond member, which I have no problem with, congratulations to them. They're actually making a bigger amount. Right now, you can actually get some profit sharing even at a lower rank. Now, obviously, case in point here, if I'm a 2-star, there's obviously going to be a heck of a lot more 2-stars than there are 5-stars. So that 1%, 1%, 1%, 1%, all 4 groups are sharing an equal amount of money. So let's say, just to keep things simple, let's say $100,000 was done in the first month, which I'm sure they're well beyond $100,000. So if $100,000 is done in the first month, each group is going to share $1,000. Okay, a total of 4%. So this group is going to share 1,000. This is going to share 1,000. This one 1,000, and this one 1,000. There might only be one 5-star that first time, so they're going to get the whole $1,000. Maybe let's say there's 3 4-stars. So the 3 4-stars are each going to get an additional $333.33. If there is 100 2-stars like I am right now, okay, we're each going to get an extra $10. So, the thing is, it's extra money that I wouldn't have earned anything at all until I was at a higher rank, maybe in some other situation. So that is a nice little bonus. One of the things I do want to qualify or quantify here is, in order to have that rank, I believe, let me see if it is in here. Give me 1 second. It might not be there. It might be here instead. I'm going to open this in a new tab. One of the key things to get that bonus pool is that you do have to be active and you do have to have sponsored or recruited at least one new member in that existing month. Okay. They want to make sure you're active. They want to benefit the people that are taking action instead of someone who hasn't taken any action. Okay. Which I believe is a really cool thing. And so what that does is bring us to actually getting into some of those other ranks. So let's take a look at that, and that'll get us pretty close to the end because the rest is just contacting you and logging out. But we'll point out quickly here, look at all these people coming in. Look at the timestamps, okay? And again, this is military time, so 7:17, 7:16, 7:16, 7:14, 7:13, 7:13, 7:05, 7:04, 7:04, 7:03. They're coming in every couple minutes. Okay, one after another, after another, after another, after another. And as more people start to join, this is going to continue to compound and get bigger and bigger and bigger. So taking a look at the rank advancements, and this is kind of cool too. In order to become a 1-star, all you have to do is put in 2 people. Okay, boom, you've made it to that next thing. Now, if you can do it fast, come in, get your spot, put in your first two, your top left and top right. Now you've been able to match everything on both sides. You'll get the full thing for your own amount, but you'll also match left and right. Versus if you waited and had people way down, then your matches will be smaller. So keep in mind, again, that's another benefit to getting in earlier because you're going to have a bigger team overall. And obviously you want to try to put some people in. Maybe it's a sibling. Maybe it's a spouse. Maybe you secure one for, mom or dad. Be creative, but obviously follow legitimate rules. Where I have ranked right now after just, again, I really started taking action on Thursday. And so just in about 5 days, I made it to 2-star. I don't claim to be any super affiliate, but I've had quite a bit of experience and I've had some nice success. And like I said, I've made connections and I followed up with them on Facebook and a lot of people saw the value. With this, 20 people total, but no more than 6 can come from any individual enroller tree. So an enroller tree is basically someone that you sponsor. anyone that falls underneath them is part of your enroller tree. So when you look at that design and you got your top 2 positions, then there's 4 people under that, and then there's 8 people under that. You could have 2 trees and then 4 more trees and then 8 more trees, because every single one below them has numbers that go underneath that they maybe have sponsored. So if I only put in 2 people and one person only put in one additional, but the other person goes crazy and puts in 18, I got 18, 19 from the extras, and then 20, 21, I would have more to meet the qualification, but I had more than 6 all come from one leg. So that won't work. Okay, same thing. If you think about this, 30 out of the 300 to be a 3-star can't come from one leg. 150 or more than 150 out of 500 for 4 stars, and then 750 out of the 2,500. Now, someone mentioned this earlier, and it doesn't say, it just says 25 active members in your enroller tree. And then, okay, it doesn't say you had to enroll them all. Obviously, you have 2 personally enrolled. This, again, doesn't say you enrolled them. It says they are active in the enroller tree. So if I have 2 people, and let's say they each sponsored 15, I'm well above that amount. I'm good to go. Okay? At least I think. No more than 6 coming from an individual tree. Well, by that point, I already have the numbers. It wouldn't matter anyway. Let's use that down lower. So let's say I sponsored 3 people, and 40, 40, and 40, that's 120. That wouldn't work, because again, I can't have more than 30 in one leg. Okay? If I have a 4th person that comes in and they sponsor 10, now it's 30 off of one, 30 off another, 30 off another, and then finally the 10, and then I made it to 3-star. At least that's my interpretation. Okay, I could be wrong. Now, I do know that my sponsor, Mac, like we looked at earlier, has about 130 people personally sponsored. He has already just gone over 500 total. So he's got all different numbers. I believe he does have one person underneath him with close to 150. Okay, he's got me with, 20 something, and he had 3 or 4 other people with like 40 or 50. And so out of his top affiliates, I think maybe I was number 4 or 5. Okay, I wasn't way down at the bottom because he has a bunch of people that have only sponsored 1. So as you go through, you can continue to rank up, which is really neat, because based on the legs you have and how many sponsored, obviously you'd want to have them sponsored near the top so that all those legs underneath could really start to grow and develop into a nice, possible lucrative income for you. Obviously, on top of saving money, you're also going to be earning money at the same time, which is really cool with the Save Club. Now, obviously, you have to be a registered affiliate. Okay, it's $60, I believe, per year to have access to that, and that's going to include all the updates. It includes, changes in the website, support. It includes them doing the research and getting out and going to the companies and getting us these better deals. So all of that's involved as being a registered affiliate and then taking part in that compensation plan. So hopefully after just the first couple people, you've made your money back, and then everything else obviously is going to be a little bonus, the cherry on top. So we're almost 40 minutes into this. I appreciate your time in this in-depth overview of the members area in Save Club. If you have any questions, leave them below. You can check out the links, whether you want to join as just a member or if you want to join as a business partner and member. Feel free to check those 2 out. And again, if you're going to join, or if you're interested in other things that I have done and other trainings I have, make sure you subscribe to the channel so you know when new things come out. So again, this has been Dave Gardner, and I look forward to seeing your success, saving a lot of money in Save Club, but hopefully making some as well. Take care.